In the last video, we learned how we can start querying S3 data using Amazon Athena service. We learned, among other things, how we can create S3 buckets, how we can create folders and load our files, how we can create the identity and access management role and attach necessary permissions to the AWS Glue service, how we can create database and add table from AWS crawler, and how we can scan data source info schema and create metadata tables in the AWS Glue data catalog, and of course how we can query the S3 data in Amazon Athena. I'm going to put a link of the video in the description so they can actually watch and see how to achieve the entire process. In today's video, I'm going to show you how we can connect to Amazon Athena data using Power BI Desktop for data visualization. Without much talking, let's get started. By the way, if you're new to this channel or not yet a subscriber, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button and toggle on bell icon to be informed of new videos. So let's get started. So I'm going to maintain my Cornerstone Solutions bucket, which is the S3 service. And of course, I've got this AWS Glue console open. And when I come to the crawlers, I can see the crawler we created in the last video. And of course, this is my IAM dashboard. And I've got the Amazon Athena where we can actually query our data. Just for the sake of emphasis, I'm going to quickly just query the sales data table. I'm going to press Ctrl Enter. Now, while that's going on, I'm going to come in. So I've got AWS Sales 2023, 2024, and 2025.csv files. So when I come here and can go down to the bottom, I can see I've got the transaction data for the 2023. When I go to the bottom, we can see for the 2024, and then we can see for the 2025. When I come to the Glue crawler, I'm going to come to the crawlers and click on the My Crawler. And of course, we have 3 crawlers execution at the bottom here. In order for us to be able to use Power BI Desktop to connect to the Amazon Athena data, it is important we download the necessary Amazon Athena ODBC driver. That is the Open Database Connectivity driver. So I'm going to come to a new tab and I'm going to type in Amazon Athena ODBC driver. So just click on that and I'm going to go down to the bottom. So you want to click on this docs.aws.amazon.com and we can see connect to Amazon Athena with Open Database Connectivity. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to take me to this page. So under this connect to Athena with ODBC, we've got these 2 options. We have this ODBC 1 and this 2. So I'm going to use the latest, which is the 2. Click on this and I can see all the documentation as well as the ODBC driver to download. So it depends on your operating system. So I'm using Windows. So we can see we've got Linux, Mac OS, and of course we have the Windows at the bottom. So I'm going to download this Windows 64-bit ODBC driver 2.0.5.1. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to just click on the downloaded driver and just follow the installation prompt, which is quite straightforward. And I can see welcome to Amazon Athena ODBC driver setup wizard. I'm going to click on next. And I can see the end user license agreement. So I'm going to click on accept the terms in the license agreement and click on next. And I'm going to just choose this default custom setup. We don't need to do anything special, except if I want to change the location. But this is fine for me. I'm going to click on next and just click on install. And I'm going to click on yes. And in a matter of seconds, the installation is completed. So we have completed the Amazon Athena ODBC driver setup wizard. I'm going to click on finish. And I'm going to close my download. Nice and easy. Now, I'm going to come to my Windows and type in ODBC 64-bit and click on the administrator. And I can see under the user data source name, I'm not going to see the newly added or installed Amazon Athena connector. I'm going to come to the system data source name and I can see Amazon Athena. I'm going to double click. And then we need to go through the configuration. So we have this name, which is automatically included for you. So you can make changes to this if you don't like this default Amazon Athena as the data source name, but this is fine with me. And I'm going to leave this description. You can change this if you like. And it's really important you include the region where your AWS service is provisioned. Mine is provisioned in the EU North 1. Now, to see your region, just come here. And it is usually part of your URL. So I can say I've got this EU North 1, and that's fine. And this is going to be based on the AWS data catalog, which is the top level. And I'm going to maintain this default database, and I'm going to maintain this work group. Now, it is important we provide the S3 output location that stores the result of our Athena queries. So to get this S3 output location, I'm going to swipe back in, and this is the folder that contains all my source data. So I'm going to go back to this Cornerstone Solutions 01 bucket, and I've got this query result which was created as soon as I launched the Athena for the first time. So I'm going to click on this query results, and I can see the bunch of query which contains basically some of the metadata of the query we've executed. We need to copy the S3 URL, so I'm going to copy this, and this is what is needed. I'm going to come back to the Amazon Athena ODBC configuration, and I'm going to Ctrl V to paste. And we're going to leave this encryption option as not set. So we need to come to the authentication options. So in this case, we're going to be using the IAM credential, which is the Identity and Access Management credential. And then we need to provide the name of the user and password. Now, in order to get this, we need to actually create a user inside the IAM, and then we need to create the secret key and the secret access key. So to achieve the username and password, I'm going to navigate back to the Identity and Access Management console, and on the left hand side I can see the access management. So you want to go to users. So in this case I don't have any user, so I'm going to create a new user at the top right hand corner, and let me just call this one Cornerstone user. Again, you can use whatever name you like, and I'm going to click on next. So we're going to set the permission for the user. So we're just going to attach the policy that we want to use in order to use Power BI Desktop to connect to our data in Athena seamlessly. So I'm going to attach policies directly. Click on this attach, and then for the permissions policies, we've got quite a lot. So basically we just need two. We need to grant the Power BI Desktop full access to our S3 and of course full access to our Athena service. I'm going to set for S3 full access and click on this, and I'm going to cancel. And then we also need the Athena full access. So these two are really important in order for you to be able to successfully test your connection in the ODBC driver that we've installed. So once the two are selected, as we've done, I'm going to come to the bottom and click on next. And then we can see the details, the name of the user, and we can see all other things. Importantly, we can see the two permissions that we are granting to this specific user. Now, for the sake of data governance, we can include tags, but again, that's not needed or not compulsory. I'm going to come down to the bottom and click on create user. And in a matter of seconds, the user is now created. Cornerstone user. So we're going to create the access key that we need in order to be able to provide the user and of course the password. So to create your access key, I'm going to click on create access key, and then we need to choose the best practice and alternatives for this access key. So basically we want to use this in a third-party service. So you can plan to use this access key to enable access for a third-party application or service that monitors or manages your AWS resources. Now, Power BI Desktop is a third-party service. So I'm going to give this a click. I'm going to quickly just launch an instance of a Power BI Desktop, and then we can continue with this. So I'm going to come down to the bottom and click on I understand the above recommendation and want to proceed to create an access key. This is really important, and I'm going to click on next. And then we can give a description, which is completely optional. Let's just call this one my access key for Power BI Desktop connection. And then I'm going to click on create access key. Now this is created easily. So we can see the access key, which represents the username, and of course the secret access key, which represents the password. So we have the option to download this, because as soon as this page is gone, we won't be able to see this again. So you can download it, but for the sake of demonstration, keep it as it is. So I'm going to copy this access key, and I'm going to come back to the authentication options, and I'm going to paste in this username. And I'm going to come back and copy the secret access key and paste in the password box, and then I'm going to click OK. Now it's really important to test whether we've established connection to the S3 and of course the Amazon Athena services. So I'm going to click on test, and this gave us successfully connected to Athena Engine version 3. Now the reason why we are able to achieve this successful connection is because we granted the necessary permissions to the user we created. If you grant S3 full access only, this is going to fail. If you grant the Athena full access only, it's going to fail. So it is important we grant the S3 full access and Athena full access because our data is resident in S3, and of course we want to connect through the Athena. So that's why we have this successful connection. So click on OK, and then we are good to go. Click on OK, and then click on OK. That's sorted. Now we can go to the Power BI instance we just launched, and I'm going to click on Get Data from Other Sources. And we want to call the Open Database Connectivity driver, the ODBC, double click. And then I'm going to choose the data source name, which is what we've got in the ODBC environment. So I'm going to maintain this Amazon Athena and click on OK. Amazing. So in this ODBC driver, it's really important we provide the same username and password. So since the password is still copied into the clipboard, I'm going to Ctrl V to paste. And I'm going to come here and copy the access key again, representing the username. I'm going to Ctrl V to paste. For the credential connection string properties, this is optional, so we can disregard. And of course, it is really not needed. I'm going to click on Connect. And there we go. So we can see the AWS data catalog, which is the top level. And when I click on this to expand this chevron, I can see my DB Glue Database. And when I click on this, I can see the sales data table. And when I click on this, I can see the preview of the data. Let me just go ahead and transform in the Power Query editor. So I just click on transform, and we can check for the data types. We can perform any kind of transformation we intend to. So let's just change this date from ABC to a proper date data type. I'm going to click on this ABC and choose the date. So this is just a date of a transformation. Nice and easy. So you can see we have a calendar telling us this order date is now considered as a date column. We want to extract the year from this order date. So this order date selected, I'm going to go to the Add column tab at the top. In the From Date and Time group, click on this date, and then we want to click on this Fly Out and select the date year. So we can see the year is now extracted. Nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and close and apply. So we are closing the Power Query editor and applying all the transformation into the Power BI data model in order for us to be able to build our visualization and create our calculations, or as the case may be. So the sales data is now being loaded, and we can see the DSN is Amazon Athena. Cool. Now our data is now ready for us to create further calculations or to be able to create our visualization. When I expand, I can see all the columns. Now I can see the year column is being interpreted as a column that can be summarized because we've got a number or an integer number there. So I'm going to select the year column and come to the properties in the column tools contextual ribbon tab. And I'm going to choose the don't summarize. And we can see the sigma sign is now knocked off. Let's just drag this year into the canvas. And let's say we want to visualize by sales. And there we go. Let me just copy this and duplicate. Let's want to see this in a table visual. So I can just turn this to a table. And you can see we have the transaction for the year 2023, 2024, and 2025 based on the number of files we've got in our sales data folder. Amazing. Cool. Now let's just make this to be a big one. And I'm going to come to the formatting. I'm going to close this. And let's go to the values. Let's just increase this to 25. All right. And then we can expand this. Cool. We can, of course, save this, and we can also publish to the Power BI service. Now, what happens if we load more sales like 2026 into the sales files in our container, and then we fire up the Amazon Glue crawler? Of course, this is going to update in the Amazon Athena, and when we come back to the Power BI desktop, we can click on this, refresh, and we're going to see the record for the 2026 and 2027. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to come back to my browser, and I'm going to use the upload functionality to bring in the sales 2026 quickly. And I can see AWS sales 2026.csv. I'm going to click on upload, and this is now uploaded. In order to verify, I can just step back, and I can see the 2026. Nice and easy. Of course, this is not going to be automatically visible when we query the sales data in the Amazon Athena because the crawler is on demand, not scheduled. So I'm going to come here back to the AWS Glue, and then I can come back to the crawlers, and I'm going to click on the crawler we created, and I'm going to fire up the crawler in order to crawl the new file we just uploaded into the S3 bucket folder. So click on this run crawler, and this is now started. I'm going to come to the bottom, and I can see we've got the number 4 representing the sales 2026. Depending on the volume of data, as I mentioned in the last video, we need to wait. So I can click on this refresh. All right, so this completed in 51 seconds. Now, when I come back to the Amazon Athena, I can control enter again to query. And when I go down to the bottom, we should be able to see the sales record for the 2026. Let me just go down. Can you see we have the 2026? Amazing. Of course, we can use the group by to just group by year, but that's fine. Now, since we have the 2026 now included in the Amazon Athena, I'm going to come back to the Power BI desktop, and I'm going to just click on refresh, and let's see what happens. And watch out. Amazing. So we have the 2026 sales. So this is 113,495. Cool. Let's just try it just to test the resilience of the solution. I'm going to come back to my bucket, and I'm going to upload the sales 2027, and I can see that provisioned. And I'm going to come down to the bottom and click on upload, and this is now uploaded. Again, we need to come back to the crawler. I'm going to go to the top and click on the run crawler, so we can schedule this as we've mentioned, but let's just perform a manual running of the crawler. So click on that, and again, this is being fired up. So when I come back to the bottom, you can see this is now running as a status. Let's just see the status. All right, so this completed successfully. I'm going to come back to the Athena again. Let's go to the top a little bit and click on run again. And then when I scroll down, I can watch out for the 2027 transaction. There we go. This is working fine. Let's come back to the Power BI desktop. Let's just maximize this again. Click and refresh, and then in a matter of maybe 10 seconds or less, we have the sales for the 2027, which is 149,348. This is absolutely awesome. So this is how we can use the Power BI desktop to connect to the data in the Amazon Athena in order for us to be able to create visualization using the third-party software. I trust you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, comment, share, and follow me for more videos because there's a lot to come. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.